Which four faces belong on the Dracula Mount Rushmore? Now, of course, you need Bela Lugosi, Christopher Lee, and then like Gary Oldman. And who's last? Nicolas Cage? Maybe. Just maybe. Renfield is about the titular Robert Montague Renfield and his final attempt to break free of his toxic relationship with his master, Count Dracula. Except this time around, Dracula is not like you've ever seen him before because he's portrayed by Nicolas Cage. And nobody does it quite like Nicolas Cage.
That's high praise.
And of course, that was the main reason that we all came to this film, was it not? This is what piqued a lot of people's interest, and they knew that. That's why at the trailer, it all builds to the reveal that, yes, Nicolas Cage is going to be our Prince of the Night this time around. Now, apparently, he's wanted to do this for a long time. Now, I knew that he was an ultra uber fan of Superman, and he always wanted to be the Man of Steel, and I do not have any desire to see that. But after watching Renfield, I can tell you guys, I would welcome more of Nicolas Cage's Dracula. I thought he made a lot of really inspired, wonderful choices. I thought this was some of his best acting that I've seen in a long time. Yo, this is the most fun I've had with Nicolas Cage since that one time he tried to steal the Declaration of Independence.
We're gonna have a three-way with the Declaration of Independence.
You could tell this meant a lot to him, and they do a nice job of kind of paying homage to the original, the 1931 Dracula film, and Bela Lugosi. They do a good bit of exposition, and they fill in the gaps in the backstory by going back and doing this black and white montage and reliving some of the most iconic moments, but imposing this Renfield and this Dracula into said moments, and it worked really nicely for me. And I wanted to shout that out because I feel like this movie moves at such a quick clip. It has such a nice pace about it, and there's so much ultra violence going on and so much color just sloshed everywhere that I think that might get lost in the shuffle when people do their reviews, because it happens within like the first 10 minutes. And I think it would be a sin to not go ahead and shout out how awesome I thought those moments were. Now, I talked about Renfield. He's portrayed by Nicholas Hoult, who does a very, very good job. And this guy is building a sneaky good filmography for himself. I thought he served as a very admirable protagonist that you could root for and you could understand, and you wanted to see him get over on Dracula after, centuries of servitude. Now, he kind of has this budding relationship with Awkwafina's character.
Did I watch you cut a guy with a decorative serving platter?
It's in the wrist.
And while it's not the most organic or authentic relationship I've ever seen on film, does it really matter? Is that what we came to Renfield for? Or did we come for Nicolas Cage, a lot of action, some vampire violence, and hopefully some good laughs? I think so. I think that's what we came for, not so much the romantic story. So it's okay if that plot line felt a little bit forced, if you ask me. Now, Nicholas Hoult and Awkwafina, they each get a handful of good jokes, some pretty good funny lines, and they also get just as many lines that kind of fall flat and are kind of dead on arrival. But comedy be like that sometimes. So overall, I would say the comedy in this movie, it mostly works.
He won't grow to full power.
Exactly. He won't grow to full power. What? That's so weird. Why would you phrase it like that?
And like I said, it has the pace you want for this style of film. It is honed in and it does what it does. It doesn't mix tones. It doesn't try to be something that it's not. Too often these type of films do that. This thing stays on target at all times. Everything really does complement that center performance by Nicolas Cage, and I think that's marvelous. This movie has such a style about it, and all of it, the script, the dialogue, the set deck, all of that really goes to lending itself to the style and to the overall motif of the film. Never gets lost in the shuffle, and that's marvelous. And you get some really cool death scenes, you get some cool kills, you get some ultra violence, like I said, lots of bloodshed. So that's, of course, a star. That's a feather in the cap. Unfortunately, my first big problem with the movie is that, accompanying that ultra violence, is that the blood effects, I haven't seen anything quite like this since maybe like the original Mortal Kombat on Sega Genesis. It looks like big old blobs of ketchup flying out of people. According to this movie, humans are basically walking fruit gushers. And when you get your arm hacked off, you're just a gusher that's gushing. It doesn't look realistic whatsoever. It looks bad. really, really bad. And it looks so bad that it's, of course, a choice. I think it is trying to lend itself to the overall style of the movie, but it just didn't always work for me. It was just such an obvious digital effect that, you know, it's just kind of puzzling at times, if I'm being honest. But it did allow them to get a little over the top, a little crazy with the way people were getting maimed and murdered, and a lot of times in darkly comedic fashion. So I guess it could be worse. Now, the problem is intensified, though, that it kind of goes beyond the blood. There are a lot of obvious digital effects within this movie. I mean, this movie has digital forks, it has digital bugs, it has digital blood, it has digital action sequences, it probably has digital digits within itself. And that's, of course, a problem because I'm a horror guy. I love practical effects. I love seeing something that looks real, like it actually be happening, and to where it doesn't really mess with my suspension of disbelief. Can't say that for this, but it all kind of fits within the context of the film. When you look at the locales they use and that they often use the macabre and everything is up to the nth degree. Beautiful set deck on this. I mean, really opulent. The colors just splash all throughout this. It kind of looks like you have that nightlife feel to things. There's always complementary colors working. You always have like blue and purple, or you have like a green over here bouncing off of it. Everything is just set in amazing color, and it has a really lush look to things, and that really helped my enjoyment of the movie. So there are some things that are kind of nagging hiccups here and there. But that being said, for what I wanted from this movie, which was a fun popcorn flick where I could just kind of turn my brain off, go along with the style, and hopefully enjoy Nicolas Cage, I got what I wanted and then some. It didn't shape me to my core. It didn't change who I am as a person on a core level or anything like that. It didn't change my outlook on life. And it's probably not going to make me have any longing questions that I'm going to answer in the weeks to come. But it was fun frivolity. It was entertainment. And sometimes movies just need to be entertainment. You could do a lot worse than Renfield. So I'd say it's worth the price of admission. I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. Those are my thoughts on the movie. If you've seen this movie, what did you think? Did you love Nicolas Cage as Count Dracula? And would you welcome him back into the role once more if this thing did well enough at the box office to merit a sequel? Let me know down in the comments section. Be sure to hit like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube yada, yada, yada. I'm Nate for natemareflix saying, have yourself a great day.